Thank you so much for being with us and teaching. I appreciate it. So, I have a few questions. I don't know where to start, but all right.
The one that matters most to you.
I hope it helps everyone, like all of these questions. I want to start with the health questions. I know I'm a young guy. I eat very healthy. But since my childhood, for some reason, I've been having some health concerns, like a fear of dying, maybe. Or maybe...
It's worth being afraid of because it is going to happen.
I know. So, I don't know, maybe you can help, it's like how to overcome. Sometimes I've been having some pain in my chest or something, like shortness of breath.
Well, you heard us talking earlier about how the manifestations come as a result of the vibrational basis. And so it doesn't matter how you came to that vibrational basis. You may have observed things, you may have seen things that frighten you, you may have heard other people talking about them. It doesn't matter how you came to this vibration, but this vibrational pattern then will just keep yielding to you more things that match it. So what it really comes down to, and you must be tired of hearing it because it's the answer that we always give you, but you cannot continue to beat the drum of unwanted things and expect to feel any better. So sometimes it's helpful to know that the reason that you feel fear or any negative emotion is because in the moment of the fear, your opinion about something is so far off from the opinion of your inner being that you have actually almost lost contact with your inner being. And the more contact you lose with your inner being, those are much too powerful of words, because your inner being never stops focusing on you. It doesn't matter how strong a signal the broadcasting tower is sending. If you turn your receiver off, then the broadcasting tower may as well not even be sending a signal out. So you can pinch yourself off from that. When you say these are things that you've been worried about for a long time, you've got some momentum going about them, but it always means that your inner being is not in agreement. So our first question to you is, do you believe that you even have an inner being?
Yes, I do.
And are you interested in what your inner being thinks about things? And do you believe in the validity of the wisdom of your inner being? And so if your inner being was standing in a room with you, as your inner being always is, and you said, I'm worried about my physical body, and your inner being said, we are not worried about your physical body, and you say, well, inner being, you're not here with my physical body in the way that I am, and your inner being would say, yes, we are. We are in every cell of your being. We are completely aware of everything that's going on with you. We know the request that every cell is making. Every cell that makes a request, a signal is given, and you say, well, I'm really not aware of that, and your inner being would say, we know that you're not aware of that. That's why you think things that block the signal. And you say, well, I don't feel so good, and your inner being would say, we know you don't feel so good because you're blocking the signal. So even though your cells are asking and we're sending something that would bring you a replenishing experience, you're not letting the replenishing experience in because you're blocking it. And you say, I know, but the reason I'm blocking it is because I don't feel good. And your inner being would say,
exactly, that's what's happening.
We know that you're not feeling good and that's the reason that you're blocking it, but you've got to stop blocking it. And you say, well, I can't stop blocking it because I'm worried and I don't feel good. And your inner being is saying, unless you are allowing yourself to find a feeling that is apart from the physical evidence, then the physical evidence can never change. And you say, but wait, if you would just give me different physical evidence, then I would feel better. And your inner being would say, that's not the way that it works. Everything comes in response to, the record is broken, everything comes in response to what you are broadcasting. Everything. You just cannot get around it. And so we really are wanting to say to you that the facing of reality and the recapping of reality and the repeating of reality and the discussing of reality and the telling of things that you are currently experiencing that are not the way you want them to be will keep you from ever experiencing what you want. What you think and how you feel and what you speak matters a lot. You just can't get there from there. It's like saying, I would like to go to downtown San Diego. And someone says, well, you need to get on Interstate 5 and point in the direction of south and just keep going. Stay on 5. There are other options, but stay on 5 and it'll take you right into the heart of downtown. And you say, okay, I'm really excited about this. And then you say, You said it wouldn't take me very long. And we say, well, but you're going about it in a different way.
Yeah.
And then we would say, you will eventually get there. It's just going to be a while.
I know all of these, but sometimes it's hard to apply. And then I remember, and then I think about Jerry, like I was so upset when I heard about his transition.
But you said you were young and he was old.
I know. Okay, I got it. Okay, thank you.
And you cannot make any comparison between anything that's happening to anyone else because you don't know what their intentions are. You don't know what call they are following. You don't know that was not and it was the next logical step.
So was it Jerry's choice?
Of course. Not Esther's.
Yeah, Esther must have been upset.
She's still pretty mad at him.
Yeah. Okay, thank you for that question. My other question is about like the career. I'm really into my career, and I was an engineer, and then I switched, and now I'm becoming a medical doctor. Actually, I'm about to be. But my question is about this process is so long, including with like exams, training, and like the endless things. Like I know that I enjoy this, I love doing this, but how can I not stress about this, like while I am doing this, like I don't want to stress about taking any exam. I don't want to stress about these training, even though I enjoy, like I worry about it.
You're going to have to talk yourself into feeling better just one subject at a time. Usually someone who is really enjoying a process doesn't call it endless.
Okay. That's what other people tell me, like the other doctors, my attendings, everyone is saying that.
Of course, but you cannot compare the relationship that you're going to have with your unfolding with what anybody else has had. There's rarely a person that you will ever meet who is tuned in and following that bliss. And so, have you ever seen anyone eat an ice cream cone and say, it's endless? It's just endless. It's just endless. I had no idea that this would take so long.
So what I should do is then
find a way to enjoy it.
Enjoy.
And it will not be difficult for you to do because you sifted and sorted and made some decisions about what you want, and you know it's the right thing. You're on track about it. And so this is something that you really want to do. It's something that you're really good at doing. It's something that you were born to do. It's something that you innately know. And so, but this is a very powerful premise that if we were standing in any of your physical shoes, we would apply. If you are doing something like that, line up with it before you do it. And you have to do that just about every day. Line up with whatever aspect of it is being required every day. So here's the statement. If you're going to do it, line up with it. If you're not going to do it, line up with not doing it. But don't decide to do it and not line up with it. And don't decide not to do it and not line up with it. Because you split your energy. So when you say, I really want to do this, and I know that I'm good at it. I have the mental acuity for it, and I have the human compassion for it, and I have the spiritual basis for it. I know that I was born to do this, but it's so hard, and it's so endless, and everybody's tired, and we don't get any sleep, and you have to pay such a big price. That's not lining up with it. That's working against it. That is indeliberately, but after a while, we want to start calling it deliberately. That's deliberately disallowing your own alignment. Line up with it if you're going to do it. And you are going to do it. You are going to do this.
Can you feel that?
You are going to do this because this is what we do know. If you don't do it, you would have much more difficulty lining up with not doing it than you will have difficulty in lining up doing it. Your path of least resistance is far more in doing it, you see. And when we talk about your path of least resistance, what we want you to understand is that your inner being knows where all the pieces of resistance are and will guide you around it. So like you say, when I stress over an exam, well, the reason that you stress over an exam is because somebody's told you it's hard, but they don't know how you think. Somebody's told you that it's not fun, but they don't know who you are. Somebody's told you that then you have to take it again. Well, who cares about that? In other words, you cannot make your decisions about what's the right path of least resistance for you based upon other people, even all the other people. If you were talking to all of them, you would get such different conversation from them depending upon where you are. When you're stressed, you're going to meet up with those people who are going to amplify your stress. When you're blissed out at the incredible idea that you are following about something that you were born to do, you'll meet up with others who feel that way too. They'll say things to you like, there's just nothing like it. There's just nothing like knowing that you are influencing someone in a very exact way toward their physical well-being. There's nothing like being part of a science that is evolving at such a rapid rate. There's nothing like being in a position where you can soothe someone who is uncomfortable. There's nothing like taking your knowledge of well-being and sending it out as a strong signal to someone who really could use a dose of that right now and see the relief in their face as they recognize that there's someone who is brilliant who is assisting them. There are so many things that you could say that stress could not exist in the same moment, and there are many things that you could say where stress is the basis of what you're saying. You just got to decide before you get in a position where you're saying anything how you want to feel. You got to have that unconditional journey. I do this for the clarity that I love. I do this for the exhilaration that I find in it. I do this for the passion that I feel for it. I do this for the naturalness of me that I feel for it. And someone says to you right after you're feeling all of that, but it's hard. You're going to say, doesn't matter. You're going to say, meaningful things often require time. That's how we cut our teeth. That's how we get our sea legs. That's how we launch our rockets. That's how we become who we are. That's how we ask the questions. That's how the answers come to us. I've never asked for something to be without focus. I'm born to focus. I was born to focus. I didn't come to just grab some clay and funk it down on the table and say, oh, that's a mess. I should never do that again. I will sculpt the clay. I will turn the clay into the image that I have in my mind. I will sculpt the clay vibrationally, and I will allow all of the cooperative components to help me mold it into the beautiful thing that I've seen and that I know.